She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are so blessed that you decided to join us. I don't know what you got going on in your life today, but I think that today you and I are going to have a really important discussion about our mouths and our money. You've heard the statement, put your money where your mouth is. You've heard that before, right? Well, we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit, because so oftentimes, I know in my past, especially when I was first starting off in business, that I would use this term, this phrase all the time. And it would be like, oh, I can't afford it. I don't have the money. Gosh, I wish I could, but I don't have the cash. Put your money where your mouth is. Well, if you're constantly saying you can't afford it, then there's probably a good shot you ain't gonna afford it. And the truth is that you and I seem to find ways to buy things that are important to us. I don't know if you've ever heard this statement before, but life and death is in the power of the tongue. I'm going to say that again. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And people often speak death over that which they want to grow, right? I know you know this, that whatever you encourage, you get more courage. Whoever you encourage of a certain activity, like with your kids, for example, when you encourage a good activity that you saw your kid do, right? Let's say that normally they don't clean their room at all, and let's say that now 50% of the time they are cleaning the room. If you make a big deal about the 50% progress, you're going to get more progress, and they might now go to 60% or 70%. You see the same thing in your business world. Whatever it is that you do around people, that whatever you encourage, you're going to see more of that particular activity that you're encouraging. But what about with money, right? We very often so quickly come up with excuses about money. And I find it often with people who are trying to change their financial situation, but they still continue to say, I can't afford it. Like, let's say that there's a dream vacation that you and your husband want to go on, or your wife wants to go on. But right away, the first thing that inches your head and then it comes out your mouth is, that'd be great, but we just can't afford it. Well, why can't you afford it? Let's talk about that. Can you not afford it because maybe you've spent the money in other places that were not as important? And therefore, when those plane tickets come up for that trip to Italy, that romantic getaway that you guys have been talking about for 20 years, that when those cheap tickets come up for that, the money actually is in your closet, in another pair of wonderful pairs of shoes, or some froofy drink that you got at some coffee house? Or is the money in some more tools or a really cool gadget that you thought you needed in that hot moment when it was presented to you? And let's not forget this, the talk is already happening inside of our house about the new iPhone whatever, right? What is it about these sexy gadgets or these new things, the fall fashion that is being sold to us, or the winter coats that are being sold to us, and yet we forget about the thing we've been talking about for 20 years, and that is that romantic getaway, or it is the girls' trip, or the guys' camp-out trip, or it is paying off your debt, or starting a business. We always seem to come to shelving the things that we really want to do, and the things that we don't really care that much about. Our money seems to kind of go in that direction. So that's what we're going to talk about. Kind of directing the money to where it really matters most for you. And that you really will be able to live the life you want to, instead of being that person that is continuously and forever saying, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I don't have the money. We don't have the cash. We just can't buy things like that. Well, what if you could buy things like that? Right? Let me give you an example. I was recently in a room in Southern California, and I was bringing up the fact that the average amount that we spend in our house per person on groceries is $20 per week per person. Okay. And a single person that I have found out of all the people I've worked with financial coaching that I do, that the average single person spends around $500 a month on food. Now that would include their eating out. That would include the gas station hot dog and the Red Bull. Okay. That includes all fast food. All right. The average person single person spends around $500 a month on food. Well, I have many of our clients who've gotten very serious about their dream vacations, are very serious about annihilating their debt, or they've gotten very serious about taking care of their grandparents or paying off their grandparents' debt, pursuing a business or some kind of a goal that takes money, and they've gotten very serious about it. So they've actually followed my formula with only spending $20 per week per person on food in the household. Well, if it's a single person, that means $420 a month is now being saved, right? Because it's only $80 a month for food. So that is $420 per month to do what with? Well, in 10 months, that's $4,200. A single person can go to Bora Bora, the most beautiful place on the planet. They can go to Bora Bora and stay there and buy food there, having a glorious vacation where celebrities go to vacation, where celebrities go to get married, because it's such an outrageous, it is really noted the most beautiful island in the world. And so literally in 10 months, a single person, by not pointing ridiculous amounts of money towards food, which, by the way, doesn't help them lose weight, doesn't help them be healthy, none of those things. But if you limited your budget to $20 per person for food in the household, that those people have to eat healthy, because you cannot buy prepackaged anything on $20 a week at all. You cannot buy the apple that's already cut, that's sprayed with chemicals, along with the caramel that is in that little other package. You cannot buy the pre-cut vegetables. You can't buy anything that's already had man's hands go to alter the state of the fruit or the vegetable. You cannot buy already fried chicken. You cannot go to the deli anymore and buy a chicken that was on the rotisserie. You're paying a crazy amount of money for that food that's already been prepared for you. And so when somebody now has the goal to, hey, I'd love to go to Bora Bora, or I'd love to start a business, you literally are months away by simply just readjusting where the money is going. But instead, what we do is we sit there and we say, you hear something about Bora Bora or Greece or Italy or Israel or whatever, and right away, well, it's too expensive. I can't do that on my salary. I don't have the money for things like that. I wish I could, but we just don't. What if you did? What if you did? What if you did? So even the example that I just gave you was shrinking down the food budget to $20 per person per week. Okay, that's $80. $420 is what we're saving. Come on now. You're going to lose weight. You're going to be healthier. And in 10 months, you're in Bora Bora. Hello? Come on now. Hello? This is simple. And what if you decided to get open-minded with us today? What if you started to explore the opportunities that you really do have in front of you, but just simply because of the mindset of saying, I can't afford it, now your money runs to all these different places and you can't afford it. But if you stop saying, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, that's too expensive, you'd be amazed how you have the money to do what is really important to you. So that's what we're talking about today. How many times have you let those words slip out of your mouth? And how often do we use the excuse? What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? Who with? Okay? What goal do you have that you've just let be stunted because of this mindset of living paycheck to paycheck and the money is going to all the wrong places? What dreams have you put on hold because you simply say you cannot afford them? 844-200-3264 is our number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. 844-200-3264. Call me and tell me, okay, what are some dreams that you put on hold because of the paycheck to paycheck mentality? Because of the paycheck to paycheck habit? Because living paycheck to paycheck is a habit. No, Dani, it's because my boss doesn't pay me enough. I promise you, if you were to print out your bank statement and show it to me, I would show you where there's a ton of wasted money. And there is the money so you can go on a vacation, or so that you can start that business, or you can annihilate your debt, or you can take care of your grandparents. 844-200-3264 is the number. Call in and let's talk about how you can fix the current financial situation and get on to the financial places that you want to be, right? Let's annihilate the excuse, number one, and let's start becoming money smart. Let's start really looking at the reality and how we can fix those money issues. So that phone number is available for you right now, 844-200-3264. And I've got Amanda on the line from Franklin, Tennessee. Amanda, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hello, Amanda?
Hello?
Hi. There we go. And it sounds like she's muted again. All right,
Hello?
There we go. Okay, hi, Amanda. So what can we do for you today concerning finances?
Oh, gosh. Well, Dani, to be completely honest with you, I, back in actually last year, so it's been a little over a year ago, my husband and I actually had to file our second bankruptcy.
Wow.
And it was devastating. Our first one was 5 years ago. We had to file a Chapter 7 and pretty much, lost everything. And I'm only 28 years old. So this is second bankruptcy, and I'm 28. My husband's only 33. Wow. We've got 2 kids. And, it was this second time around was like a major wake-up call, and it was devastating. It was horrible. And
can you hold on one second, Amanda? I got to ask you some questions about this. So how old were you when you first declared bankruptcy?
That would have been 22, 23.
Wow. And how much debt did you have that caused you to declare bankruptcy?
I had 2 credit cards. One was a $15,000 limit, and the other was an $8,000 limit. And that was just me alone.
Wow.
And my husband, and of course, acquiring cars, new cars, things that we thought, were great, and motorcycles. And he had been through a previous divorce. And
wow. We get into those cars and we get into those motorcycles because they're only a few $100s a month. Hold on the line. We got to cut to a quick break and we're going to dig deeper inside of the story. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Imagine being in your early 20s and having so much debt that you're forced to make a decision to declare bankruptcy. Imagine still being in your 20s a few years later and doing it again. That's exactly where Amanda from Franklin, Tennessee had found herself, 22, 23 years old, already being faced with a bankruptcy. We're digging into the story of how in the world did you get there? How in the world did you accumulate so much debt in such a few short years? I mean, that's crazy, Amanda, to me, that you're young, you're 22 years old. But again, what you're talking about is you had these credit cards and you were probably 18 when you got those credit cards. And so, $15,000 on one, $8,000 on the other is $23,000 worth of credit card debt by the time you were 22. New cars that were bought because they're only a few $100s a month. That's the big enticement. That's the big seduction that gets people to go into debt for vehicles, which is crazy. Okay. So you said that your husband had previous debt from a previous marriage, and wow. So how much total debt was there between you and your husband both? How much total debt was there that caused you guys to say, we can't possibly pay this off?
Oh, gosh. Between my credit cards, his past, debts, and new motorcycle and 2 new cars, you're probably at least looking around $95,000.
Wow.
Would be my guess.
Wow. You don't even know what the number was. You're guessing even.
No, I really don't.
That's
Is
so.
that bad?
No. It's actually common. It's very, very common. A lot of people don't have any idea how much debt they have. I was actually just in a meeting earlier today, and I was talking about how so many people today actually don't think that $10,000 worth of debt is that much. Like, I only got $10,000 worth of debt. That's no big deal. And then I probe and I say, well, have you paid cash for your cars? Oh, no. So how much do you owe on your car? I don't know. That's debt, fool. What about your mortgage? Do you know how much you owe on your mortgage? No. A mortgage is debt? Duh. What about your student loans? Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. I mean, it is crazy to me how people have this mindset that they only think their credit cards is actually debt. What about the people you owe money to? People that you borrowed, mom and dad you borrowed money from, your best friend you borrowed money from, all these other people you borrowed money from, and people don't even see that as debt. It really is shocking to me. What about the medical bills? Oh, yeah, I got a few of those. Like, oh, my gosh. And what you're saying, Amanda, is amazing, that you don't even know how much debt you guys had that you declared bankruptcy for. Huh? I think it's around $95,000. Oh, my gosh. And that just goes to show you.
A whole lot more.
You think it's a whole lot more. So here you are. You're 22. Oh, my gosh. You're almost $100,000. No, I'm talking about back then. You are almost $100,000 in debt at 22 years old. That's nuts. Absolutely crazy. And now here you are, it's a year ago, so you were 27 and you guys are declaring bankruptcy again. Isn't that shocking?
It was. It was very shocking. And, after, not being able to have a good Christmas for my children, that was, heart-wrenching. It was terrible. And after the first of the year, I had made my New Year's resolution was to be a frugal queen. I was going to be a frugal queen this year. Mm-hmm. Started making my own laundry detergent and, anything else that I could do to minimize our expenses. And for some reason, come around March, I had learned about you through some people in previous years. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, in March, just boom, Dani Johnson just popped back in my head. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really need to look into that. So I ordered your First Steps to Wealth book. Of course, you can get it for free, but I like the hardback. So yeah. I paid for my shipping, but I wanted the hardback. And I ordered it, and I couldn't put it down. And I had it read, being a mom and still trying to work and stuff. It took me 2 weeks, but nonetheless, I got through it in 2 weeks. Wow. And this might be a shock for some people, too, but Dani, your First Steps to Wealth book was the first book I've ever actually read cover to cover.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
And I couldn't put it down because I wanted the change so bad. And I knew what some of my friends who had went to your previous events before, I knew how much their life had changed.
Yep.
And I knew that this is what we needed.
Yep.
So in March, I read through the book. I told my husband, I want you to read the book. You need to read the book.
That's so amazing that you didn't use, Amanda, it's amazing that you didn't use, I'm a mom, I'm busy, I'm working. You know what I mean? You didn't use any of those excuses to stay stuck. And I love that you had a passion. I heard your voice shaking when you were saying, I had to change. Hold the line. I want to hear what the results are. As a direct result, we got to cut over a real quick break. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show. More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
This is the Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
Have you ever been in that place where, you have made such a huge mistake that it has pushed you to make a big change, a positive one? Sometimes when we fall down and we really mess up, Sometimes those mess ups are the greatest teachers that we could ever ask for. I know for me in my past, the financial ruin that I got myself into several times, the last time I got myself into that one, and it was a big one, that was a time where it was enough is enough. And I don't ever want to learn this one again. It's kind of like I had the beating of a lifetime, and I don't ever want to go back to who I was back then. That's exactly what Amanda from Franklin, Tennessee is talking about. It's a crazy story. 22 years old, she declared bankruptcy, her and her husband, 22, and they were over $100,000 in debt. And then here we have at 27, they did it again. And what was the emotion that drew them to make a better decision? They were not able to give their kids a good Christmas. Whatever motivates. So apparently she's telling us that she heard about the book, First Steps to Wealth, and she's telling us how she read it in 2 weeks, couldn't put it down, and she followed directions. So now, Amanda, what happened? Tell me. What changed in your life?
Everything,
Really?
to say the least. So read the book in March. I found out about your First Steps to Success coming up in May, which was in Baltimore. And it was actually the weekend of our anniversary. And typically, we go to the beach.
Yep.
And I told my husband, I said, I don't want to go to the beach this year. I want to go to Baltimore. And he kind of looked at me like I was crazy.
I would too.
Yeah, I said, well, I really want to go to this. I really think it's going to, benefit our marriage and just really, turn us around. And this is what I want to do. And so being the loving husband that he is, he followed his wife because he knew how much it meant to me.
Wow.
And, not really knowing about you or not knowing what I knew, and honestly, not even reading the book all the way through. By the end of First Steps to Success, he was a total Dani advocate. And by the end of that Sunday, it was my husband that said, take the rest of the money that we had got back on taxes and go and buy us our Dynasty tickets right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So beginning of May, we went to First Steps to Success. By the end of May, my husband and I were in Atlanta, Georgia at the Dynasty, creating a Dynasty. And in that time frame, from March until the end of May, in 10 weeks, we paid off $7,000 worth of debt in 10 weeks.
Wow.
Since March, so now we're looking at, 6 months, we have paid off exactly $14,590 in debt, and we actually have $5,500 saved to invest in what my husband's wanting to do in his future, so income-producing assets. So,
Amanda, I'm so proud of you guys. Seriously, look at that, how fast you have paid off all of that debt. That's incredible. And now I bet you look back to the times of declaring bankruptcy going, we never needed to do that. We could have paid it off.
No.
Not to mention, I'm sure that you have hope that, hold on a second, now I know how to pay off debt, but more importantly, I'm learning financial skills to not go back into debt, but I now will be able to learn how to accumulate wealth because wealth is accumulated little by little, and debt is paid off by the same exact principles. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you choose not to spend. And you literally can make your bank account grow. You can make your bank account grow by every month. You can make your bank account grow by what you don't spend. And you're in control of that debit card or that credit card. We're in control of how many times we go to the grocery store. So, hey, Amanda, I'm so proud of you. My gosh, I want to hug your neck so bad. You are a surprise phone call to me. Honestly, this is a shock to me that I got to hear this story like live from you. This wasn't a story I read. This was like, whoa, Lord, thank you. This is like such a huge, huge benefit. So if you, by the way, are listening to the show for the very first time and you want to get your free copy of First Steps to Wealth, it's our gift to you. It's the same book that Amanda got it put into her little hands, and she said she couldn't put it down. It was the very first book that she ever read cover to cover, and in 2 weeks she read it, and that was on top of work and her her children that she was, having to be a mother for every day. She was glued. And so if you want your free copy of First Steps to Wealth, just dial this phone number right now. If you're a first-time listener, this is a free gift from us to you. It's 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. You tell them that you just heard this on the radio. You would like your free copy. That's going to come in the form of an ebook. If you want the physical copy, you're like one of those, you want a dog ear, write notes in the margin, take your highlighter and do that whole thing, then you want a physical copy of the book, then you just pay the shipping to get the book to your house, and we will send you the $15 book. I think that's a fair deal, okay? So again, first-time listener to the show, get your free copy. It helped Amanda pay off all of that debt. That's amazing. I just love it. I'm so excited. Yay. Good job, girl. Okay, we've got Victoria from San Antonio, Texas. Victoria, welcome to the show. What can we do to help you with your finances today?
Hey, Danny. I commented on the Facebook page, and I said what causes me to live paycheck to paycheck is the 98%er mindset that you spend every dime you make and there's time to save later.
Yeah.
And also said that the concept of credit is a killer, and the ability to pay things with time or wait until a later date. People get themselves into trouble with that.
Yep.
I'm only 20 years old, and I'm already $12,000 in debt. I learned nothing in grade school or even now in college. I'm actually going to college right now on how to grow my money as a seed.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's drilled into this generation, because I see it in my sisters as well, is to go to college no matter what it takes, no matter what the debt, and put everything on credit until you get there. Take out student loans to buy your car to go to school.
Wow.
Take out student loans to do this and that and the other. And basically, my dreams are to travel and help people, and that you can't do that if you're spending every penny you make.
That's right. That's right. It is. My goodness, you're 20 years old, already $12,000 in debt. Now, I want to know, because there's somebody in their car right now, and they are listening to you talk about this. And whether it's a mom or a dad, or it is a teenager that hasn't yet gone into debt, how does it feel to be 20 years old and already have $12,000 in debt?
Honestly, it is very tiring because since I was able to get a car, even though the first car my parents got, they paid for, I've always worked. And that was just, I'm a Ruby. That's the kind of person I am. I've always worked. And, now I have to work.
Yeah.
Now I have those that I have to pay.
Yep.
And the monthly expenses that I have, things that are fixed and I can't change, are really high for somebody my age. And, part of that is, I'm Ruby, like to get the best of the best kind of thing. But that's put me in so much trouble. And especially with the encouragement from other people saying that, oh, you just use your student loans to pay that off. Or, you can do it this way and you can do it that way, but you can still do it.
Yeah, meaning there's always people encouraging you to go further in debt, and there's always people around you encouraging to spend more money, to buy the best of things, as though you are a queen in a palace. And that's how I see largely, Victoria, that everybody's living, not everybody, most people are living like kings. And they're not kings. They're living like celebrities, but they're not celebrities. They're living like the money's always going to be there, and there's an endless amount. And if you run into a barrier that you can't buy what you want, just pull that credit card out and go into debt for it. And so I'm really proud of you for listening to this show, number one. I'm proud of you that you are 20 years old and you already feel the pressure and the burden of the debt, as well as the pressure and the burden of expenses that you cannot control. You can change what apartment you're living in. You can change what kind of car you drive. You can change what kind of food that you buy, and you can do all cheaper in those particular categories. You can determine whether or not you're going to go shopping at the mall on the weekends with the rest of your girlfriends, or you're going to sit and pay money for a $9 movie at a movie theater. You're in control of how much you spend or how much you don't spend. And I'm proud of you that you're 20. You're already thinking about this. You're looking ahead going, where is this going to go? So Victoria, let me ask you something. If you had never come in contact with this show, with our contact, with our website, how much debt do you think you would be in by the time you're 21, 22, 23? Tell me, where does this go and where does it end?
That's so funny that you asked that because I know exactly how much debt I'd be in by the time I was 21.
How much?
I am a cars person. I love cars so much, and I love the best of the best, and I really like all the leather and all that good stuff, and I already have looked into, after I saw your material, I spent 2 months looking at cars.
Wow. Hold on one second, Victoria. Hold on one second. I've got to cut over to a quick break. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show. Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
I'm kind of mad right now. I really am. I'm very disgusted with who we've become. I'm upset that we are teaching the next generation to just live with debt, that debt is normal, it's a part of our life, and it's no big deal. This is upsetting to me. And proof is right here on the line with me. Victoria from San Antonio, Texas, who is 20 years old, already $12,000 in debt. And I asked her, why? Why is it this way? I'm being encouraged by everybody, Dani, all around me. Everybody all around me is encouraging me. Oh, you could buy a car using debt. You could buy this and just use your student loans. Take out a student loan and buy a new car, and take out your student loans and buy a new outfit. This is ridiculous to me and disgusting. 20 years old, already in debt. I want to smack the people that are around her. So Victoria, I asked you a question. How much debt will you be in? If you stay on this path, how much debt will you be in by the time you are 21? What's the number? How much?
I would say about 30,000.
So from 12,000 to 30,000 in 1 year. Let's fast forward to 25 years old. There you are, 25 years old. On the same trajectory, if you stay on the same road, how much debt will you be carrying?
I mean, there's the number is so far out there that just trying to think of it makes me sick.
But you got to think of it, Victoria. You have to think of it. What do you think it's going to be? Come on, look, the last caller was 22 years old, and her and her husband had already had almost $100,000 worth of debt. At 22! A credit card for $15,000, another credit card for $8,000, the new cars and the motorcycle that they bought, and all the other little goodies that went along with it. And you, before that last break, were just talking about, I was looking for cars. I was looking for a car to buy. Wow. And you know you would have purchased that car. You better not, girlfriend. I'm going to hunt you down in San Antonio, Texas and strangle your butt. Seriously, girlfriend. Okay, now think about it. 25 years old. Honestly, on the path that you're on and with the mindset that you've been encouraged with, it's at least $100,000. It's at least $100,000.
At the very least. I mean, I've not only for 2 months had I been looking for, even after I saw you, even after I saw your material, even after I started applying, I actually have paid off $1,000. In a month, I paid off $1,000.
Wow.
And,
wow.
That's just from not spending, eating out, and all that kind of stuff. And I still went and looked for 2 months at different cars. I talked to probably 10 sales guys trying to find the best deal to justify that it would be okay, even with the knowledge that I knew.
It's not okay, Victoria. It's not okay. Listen to your financial mama right now. It is not okay. Do not make the mistakes that others are making. You literally have to look at the people that are around you that are encouraging you to buy a new car, to buy new clothes, to go to the movies, to eat out all the time. Look at their life carefully, Victoria. Look at their life. Do you really want their stress? Do you really want the heaviness and the burden that keeps them up at night? Do you really want to multiply the heavy burden and stress you have right now with $12,000 worth of debt? Do you really want to live this life for the rest of your life? Because this is where it starts. My husband's grandparents, crazy story. They were in debt for 60 years. You know when it started? When they were in college. 60 years. There was not a single year in 60 years that they didn't carry debt. That's horrifying. Could you imagine your entire life being burdened with the feelings that you have of this $12,000 worth of debt? Not an option, baby. There's a reason why your God in heaven has brought you across our website, across our materials. And it is to save you from the misery that most people are dealing with in this country and in other countries. To save you from being the person who has no confidence, that doesn't believe in anything, that doesn't trust anybody because they have been bamboozled and taken advantage of with this whole beautiful, sexy, splashy, wonderfully bling bling idea of debt. Debt is not pretty. Debt is ugly. Debt is evil. Don't go there. Stay away. And I'm proud of you that have already paid off $1,000 worth of debt using the systems that you've come in contact with our website. I'm so proud of you. But you seriously have got to kill this 98% mentality that takes us to dead or dead broke at the age of 65, dependent on your family, friends, and federal government for your main source of income. You have got to kill that mindset, and you've got to put on that 2% mindset that becomes financially independent. It's going to take work. It is going to take discipline, and you can do it, Victoria. You're at the perfect age to train your mind to think like a 2%er, to make decisions like a 2%er. You got this deal, girlfriend. You've got this. It's not an accident while you're here. So you need to obey and get yourself trained to think correctly about money. I'm really proud of you for being here. I really am. Oh, girl, trust me, your friends that might be laughing at you because you're not eating out all the time with them, or you're not going out to the movies with them all the time because you're choosing to pay off debt instead. You're choosing to be wise. They might laugh at you for the old car that you're going to drive instead of the new one. Yeah, we'll see who's laughing 5 years from now. We will see when you are flourishing and prospering greatly and nobody, not a thing. We will see who's laughing then. We will see. They will want your life. Trust me. Oh my gosh, I just want to smack whoever it is that has encouraged a 20-year-old to go into debt. I'm serious. This just makes me sick to my stomach. Have we become a people who has lost touch with our own pain and emotions? Are we so numbed out and dumbed out that we would encourage our kids to get a credit card, the very thing that has caused mom and dad to fight over? The very thing that has brought on this terrible, heavy, 500-pound elephant. Maybe they weigh more than that. They weigh much more than that. This 500-pound beast that's sitting on top of your chest that is causing you to lose sleep at night. And we're driving our kid to the bank. They turn 18 and we're like, fill out your credit card application. It's like giving them poison. Literally. How does your debt feel? Come on. And you want to pass that on to your kid? I don't get it. Come on. Grow up. Think about what you're doing. But Dani, it's a part of life. No, it doesn't have to be a part of life. It's a choice. There are plenty of people who live by cash. Plenty of people who do not live by credit. Plenty of people who are completely debt-free and don't even have credit cards. A debit card is good enough. Ah, man, serious. Would you give your kid a cup of poison? That's what you're doing when you're having them fill out a credit card application. When you are encouraging them to even get student loans for an education they don't even know they're going to use. If they want to become a doctor, different story. That's going to pay back. But if they don't know what they want to be when they grow up, don't be blowing money, $50,000 in student loans. It's stupid. This is Dani Johnson. I know I just made you mad. We'll continue with more right after this.
Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
What are you willing to do to get ahead financially? It's an important question to answer. Seriously, what are you willing to change in your life so you do not carry this burden and slavery anymore that is suffocating the life out of you, out of your family, out of your dreams, creating stress and fights with the people that you live with? What are you willing to do to fix this problem? This is a question I've been asking Sylvia, who has put herself $120,000 worth of debt as a young person. You don't want to go there. And by the way, Sylvia, I know you're listening. I've got a free gift for you. I've given you some tips on how to annihilate the debt, but this book, First Steps to Wealth, this book goes into much more detail than what I could cover here on this short show. So it's First Steps to Wealth. If you write the phone number 866-760-8255, we'll give you a free copy of the book. That's 866-760-8255. 8255. Just let them know that you just heard me and that I said that you could have a free copy of the book. They will take that call, and they'll send you, it's an ebook form, so you can start reading it today. If you want a physical copy, you're one of those that like to highlight and write notes in the margin, then you pay the shipping to get the $15 book to your house. You cover the shipping, we'll pay for the $15 book, okay? That's First Steps to Wealth. There's 2 whole chapters in here on annihilating your debt and all the little intricacies and secrets, places where money is being sucked into dumb things that now you'll redirect it and annihilate that $120,000 worth of debt really, really fast. In fact, the very first page of this, you'll hear a story from Tracy, and Tracy and her husband paid off more than $400,000 worth of debt and increased their income by the strategies that are written in this book. They were able to do that in just a couple of short years. Okay, so get a hold of this immediately and start following the recipe to having a much more successful financial life. That's First Steps to Wealth. Okay, so we got line 3. We have Amber from Michigan. Amber, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I had also wrote on the Facebook page, and you had asked me to speak today, so I'm here, and I just wanted to say that my biggest problem is myself. I stand in my way, and I want to speak with my family about the budget and all be on the same page. And one person will say, "Oh, it's just $20. We'll spend it on this," and just downhill from there. And my dream has always been to be debt-free, so going to work is about what I enjoy, not the money. I like to spend time with family and friends, but I don't like to focus on how much this meal is going to cost me, how much it's going to cost to drive there. I'm constantly thinking about cost of everything because we are trying to get out of debt.
Yeah.
I want to be able to show others that you can do it if you just pay attention and, put in these formulas and, your time can be more important than your money.
Yeah.
So I just been stuck in this vicious cycle of the budget.
Yeah. You know what? I have a question for you. Do you really have to spend money in order to enjoy time with your family?
I would hope not. We live, far away from extended family. My initial family and my husband and I, we do a lot of free things here together in our town. We always are looking for free things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going out to visit the people that live an hour and a half away or 2 hours away, my brothers and my parents. Cost of gas. And when we go see them, we always try to afford, just the gas when we get out there. They'll pay for the meal or anything like that because they know that we're trying to budget stuff. But when do you say no to things like that? Like how often? When do you say yes? Mm-hmm. Once you've got back on track, $61,000 in debt, that's a long time to say no to people for, I guess.
Right. How about doing it less? So how often are you spending money on gas to go visit those family members? And by the way, how often do they come in your direction?
Exactly. My husband and I have talked about that. They haven't came out as much. We were driving, I would say, 3 times a month. And we talked about it.
Are you serious? Hold on one second here. Amber, hold on. 3 times? Did you say 3 times a month?
Yes.
It sounds to me like there's some unhealthy attachments to some family members here.
It might be.
Seriously.
We lived very far away. We lived in Hawaii for 3 years, and we didn't see anybody. So we moved back here. It's been a year, and I think it's just been like, I just want to see everybody.
Amber. You know, when you got married, you left your family, okay? And 3 times a month is over the top. And by the way, they obviously don't want to see you as much. Otherwise, they'd be driving 3 times a month to come see you. Exactly. So it didn't seem to bother them when you lived in Hawaii that they didn't come and visit you. So what are you investing into here? This is ridiculous. It sounds like there's some codependency and you're being taken advantage of if the family is not willing to at least bear the burden and split this deal. So here's the deal. 3 times a month is too much. You know, a lot of people go and see their family, I don't know, once a year. Once a year is a bit better than than no times in 5 years. Okay, so I would be asking the family, like, hey, how often are you willing to come out here and we're gonna split turns, right? So, you know, it's your turn to come. And if they don't come, you don't see them that time. But if you were to simply do this, 3 times a month is out of control. All right, so that's out of control. So if that's 3 times a month,
we got back down to once.
Okay, so
and in the last 2 months, and we've saved so much more money. And I'm enjoying my time home. It's nice to just be home.
Yes.
More.
Yes. Okay, so I would even be looking at, what if, just listen to me, you go there once and next month they have to come to you. And if they don't, you just don't see each other. So now you are 6 times a year instead of 36 times a year.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow, girl. That's one place to save money, obviously, is to look at those habits and the have-tos and really look at the root of what the have-tos are. You know what I mean? What's the root of the have-tos? And gas is expensive. Gas is really expensive. But look at how funny you're like, so do I not get to go see my family until I have paid off my $62,000 worth of debt? Well, hold on a second.
I feel like...
Okay, so if you're paying off $1,000 a month worth of debt every month, right? That's 62 months. You said you lived in Hawaii for 5 years and didn't see them for 5 years.
Yep. So, I think I could do it.
Yeah. And I think they can come visit you. So I think once a month is still too much. I think it should go to once every 2 months and they can come and visit in between. You know?
That would be wonderful.
How about just holidays? That's how most families do it. Holidays. Right?
That would be nice, yeah.
One holiday at their house, one holiday at your house. Split it up. Quit carrying the burden. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm proud of you that you went from 3 times a month to 1. Now let's go from once a month to once every 2 months and let them come and visit you every other month. You're going to save now, again, a tremendous amount of money. So, and again, everyone has different priorities and different things that they, call luxuries. But I'd be looking at, I would make that little change because that's going to help you pay off debt even faster. And then second of all, other places where you're spending money. Like I said, you said, we like to go out. We like to build these family memories. It doesn't have to cost money to build a family memory. It just doesn't. Man, has that become a part of our culture? Yes, it disgusts me. It makes me mad. You want to create some great memories with your kids? Play hide and seek in the house. That is a memory they will never forget. They'll have a blast. Once a week, everyone plays hide and seek. During the summer, we play it outside. During the winter, we play it inside. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast. But Dani, we have a really small house. Shut up and just come on. Quit with your lame excuses. It doesn't matter what the size of the house is. You'll be amazed where you and the kids figure out places to hide. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast. And there's other things that you could play for free. Playing games with the kids, cards with the kids, dice with the kids, okay? No, we like to watch movies. Watching movies costs money. Draw with the kids. Play Pictionary with the kids. Charades with the kids. I mean, there's so many free things to do. Why is it that we are putting our own addiction to entertainment and eating out all the time and buying movies or renting movies? Why are we putting our addiction on our kids and now teaching them that the only way to have fun is to spend money? That's the only way to have fun. No, that's not the only way to have fun. There's other ways to build memories that are totally free and are actually much more fun. When people sit down and watch a movie together, they ain't talking. They're not. Watching a movie is not building family time. That is vegging out time. Everyone's tuned out. Anyway, that's some places to save money. That's some ways to help your bank account grow based on what you're not spending money on. Amber, I'm proud of you that you've at least looked at that travel and that you at least already pulled back a little bit. Let's keep going. And you're going to annihilate that debt really, really fast. This is Dani Johnson. We're talking about your finances, ways to save money, places where the money is going. What is keeping you to this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle when that is not how it should be? This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay tuned for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Now, more of The Dani Johnson Show.
What's holding you back? What is it? What is holding you back financially and keeping you stuck? This is Dani Johnson, 844-200-3264. We got to fix this problem. You can't stay on the same path and hope that someday it works itself out. You cannot do that. You have got to have a plan in place, friend. You have got to make some new decisions. You have to really be honest and square when you look at your finances and go, whoops, I probably shouldn't do that anymore. I need to make some adjustments. You don't want to die broke, and you do not want to live under the suffocation of debt, the burden, the slavery of that thing that is wiping you out of your self-confidence. It's wiping you clean of your vision. It is killing you. It's causing fights in your life. It's not worth it. It's not. Going to the phone. So again, where? Okay, what changes? What is keeping you stuck financially? Living paycheck to paycheck. Sandra from Ontario, Canada, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm here today because I work with the company. Most of my challenge is people skills, I think. I work with a company advertising for them, and that's how they pay me.
Mm-hmm.
And I show people about, I promote their products.
Yep.
And I really believe in their products. And sometimes I sit with people and they act like they believe in the products too, but when it comes right down to opening an account, they say no. They just plain say no.
Okay, well, Sandra, let me ask you a question. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that you're not making enough money, and that's what's keeping you living paycheck to paycheck.
And I watch other people do it. It's like watching people ride bikes down the street, and I can't get mine to work, and it just drives me nuts.
Yep. Okay, so you've heard this statement. You've heard this statement. If you do what you've always done, you're always going to get the same result. You've heard that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? You've heard that statement.
And I'm a very expressive person, so I'm willing to change things. I think I'm willing to change things.
Okay, well, the first thing that needs to change...
Coachable, so to do what other people say works.
The first thing to change is your approach. And to get really teachable and learn from other people that are good in sales. Study them. Study materials that are going to teach you how to communicate better. I would be studying materials that teach you how to sell without selling. To sell without looking like a salesperson. Don't sound like a telemarketer. Don't sound like a used car salesman. But look and study a very high-level professional form of sales. And the high-level professionals don't sound like a salesperson. They don't look like a salesperson. They don't communicate like a salesperson. They create opportunities for other people to buy, and everybody loves to buy. All of us love to buy, but we hate to be sold. So if you're getting a lot of people that are saying no to your proposal, it is because they feel like they're being sold. That's why. So I would be studying things like First Steps to Wealth, things like Prospect and Close Your Way to Millions. We have all kinds of materials on our website to teach you how to sell like a professional. Not them people that knock on your door and bamboozle you. Not like that guy with that vacuum cleaner. Not like that guy at the car lot. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the people who make millions of dollars in sales. I'm talking about the people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. I'm not talking about the lower end of sales. So if you go to our website, you're going to find all kinds of materials teaching you how to sell like a pro instead of an amateur, and study well. When I first started in business, okay, business is nothing but sales. Okay, that's all it is. When I first started, I couldn't get anybody to say yes to anything. I mean, I had a goose egg after talking to hundreds and hundreds of people and presenting a product to hundreds and hundreds of people. I had nothing but a zero. I spent $25,000 learning how to market, learning how to communicate with people, learning how to motivate people, how to create an opportunity to buy for people. After I learned these skills, I've made millions of dollars. So you need to invest in yourself and learn how. And I'd find the number one person in your office that you said it looks like they're riding a bike like it ain't nothing. Study them for a day. Study their approach. Do what they do, and it will begin to rub off on you and add, again, the education that I'm talking to you about. And you're going to get really, really good at it, and therefore you're going to make more money. And by the way, I'm proud of you for being in sales. It's wise. Somebody who can invest in themselves to learn how to sell as a professional will never go hungry. They will never, ever, ever go hungry. People that understand the sales profession and are good at it never go hungry. Even if you're mediocre at it, you will never go hungry. You will always make too much money and then have another problem keeping it. And that's another skill to learn. So, Sandra, you got this deal. If you're willing to learn, you are going to make a lot of money. Absolutely. Okay, we've got Kathy from Michigan. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Thanks for this opportunity. This is our situation. My husband and I, my husband had a successful auto repair business for over 20 years.
Wow.
And last fall, we became aware that his bookkeeper of the past 5 years had embezzled from him. After the investigation and many months of work, we found that she embezzled like over $150,000. Didn't pay taxes for 3 to 4 years. I've been working for myself, doing dictation and paper services for law firms, and I just started a few months ago a mobile spray tan business.
Nice. Kathy, I need to tell you something really quick. You probably don't know this about my story, but I had the same exact thing happen to me with my second business. The same exact thing the exact same thing. $100,000, okay? It was $100,000 and did not pay taxes. So embezzled the money. I had a $100,000 tax bill. Are you ready to hear what happened from there? Yeah. Guess how I found out? My accounts were levied. The government, the IRS, came in and levied my accounts. They drained my business accounts. They drained all of my personal accounts. I had a $50,000 a month overhead for payroll. Okay, they pulled all the money out, and then they sent a marshal into my office to grab the money out of the customer's hands as they were making an order, and I had to give the customer the product for no pay.
Oh, my Lord.
I understand where you're at, honey, and I'm here to tell you, this too will pass, and you will never make that mistake again. You see, your husband did not have enough accountability in his business. He did not have a checks and balance system where people were forced to be under the microscope to be honorable. He was not watching over his taxes. He put all of that burden on someone else, and nobody will care more about your business than yourself. Nobody. So I'm sure that he's going to learn that lesson, but I promise you, he's been schooled, which means he's gained an education. He will never do that one again. And you guys will get back on top financially. I promise you. Do not quit. Keep going. Learn from the experience. Most millionaires have gone through that one lesson. I happen to be one of them. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today. We will talk to you tomorrow about another awesome topic that will improve your life.
You've been listening to The Dani Johnson Show. It's our belief that you can live a better, healthier, happier life. All you need is a little encouragement, a different perspective, a positive force in your life. Get that and more on the next Dani Johnson Show.